What's up, Super Geeks, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have the DC Icons Deathstroke on the recording block. Let's jump into this one. This figure presents so nicely in the package. I mean, if I saw this on the shelf, I'd probably just wet myself with excitement. This is just so cool looking. Figure number 21. On the back, other figures in the wave include Swamp Thing, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman. I have the Wonder Woman. I don't have the individual carded Cyborg, and I plan on getting the Swamp Thing. DC Icons, you have really outdone yourself this time. Let's open him up. When handling sharp objects, always remember to exercise caution so as not to cut off your important fingers. Not that I feel like I have any figures that are less important. Oh, well, that went south real quick. And here's what we got. Ooh, look at that plethora of goodies. Yard sale. Oh, the sword didn't fall out. Yoink. Come on. Ah. In the package, you receive no less than one Deathstroke sword and scabbard, one ginormous Deathstroke bow staff, his gun, and his other gun, not to mention an extra right and left hand. And finally, we get the secondary head, the eye patch Slade Wilson head sculpt. They did a marvelous job on this, don't you think? And let's not forget the Deathstroke figure. Woo-wee! It's stuff like this that made people fall in love with DC Icons in the first place. I mean, seriously, peeps, what is not to love about this figure? But don't take my word for it. Let's go in for a much closer look and examine everything about this Deathstroke figure. Now, this Deathstroke figure is perfection for the DC Icons in every way, in my opinion, because they've knocked it completely out of the park. The look of this figure, the amount of time they put into designing this figure, starting at the feet, you can see the boots look really, really nice. They got that shiny blue, they got the scales there, they got all the fine details of his utility belt there with the pouches and the grenades, the fine detailing on the gloves that they've pulled off. They got all the line work up here, the muscles, the collar, the neck, the bullet belt going all the way around, the sword, the details on the sword and the scabbard, right from the dangly bits on his mask there. They've just done such a fine job on this figure. I'm so impressed. And this is easily my very favorite DC Icons figure of all time. And Deathstroke's not even my favorite character. They've just done such a great job. I can't help but make this my favorite DC Icons figure. Now, as for articulation, this Deathstroke figure is chocked full of it from start to finish. There should be an achievement unlockable for the articulation of an action figure because this one achieves it. The shoulders go up about that far, and then you've got 360 degrees rotation, bicep swivel 360 degrees, double jointed elbows. You've got articulation here at the wrist, and it's a swivel hinge at the wrist. No articulation at the top of the glove, but the Batman had no articulation at the top of his gloves either. You've got an ab crunch, a double ab crunch down here and up here, and that's quite a bit of movement if you ask me. That's actually quite a lot. You've also got your groin articulation. He can go out and do the splats that far, and you've got a drop hinge on both of his legs, which is really, really cool. I fancy the drop hinge quite much. You've got your double jointed knees, so you can, put them in cool crouch jumping poses. You've got articulation at the top of the boots. They can rotate 360. You've also got the foot that can go that far forward and that far back, and it's also on a rocker. This figure is chocked full of articulation. Oh, and the head's also on a ball joint, and it can look up a little bit and look down a little bit. Not that much articulation up and down, but all the way around 360 for the head. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Now, if you're the kind of person that is really into action figure photography, this is going to be something that is right up your alleyway. And I just wanted to pose him with the incredibly posable Nightwing figure from the DC Icons as well, just so you can get an idea of the kind of shots you can expect to get out of this action figure of Deathstroke the Terminator. Now, just doing a quick size comparison with a few of the other DC Icons, we can see that compared to Joker and Nightwing, which are part of the latter waves of DC Icons, he fits in quite nicely. Looks perfect standing in between the pair of them. And here's what it looks like when you stand him next to the initial release of the Icons Batman figure. You can see that Deathstroke the Terminator is just a little bit bigger in scale than this Batman. And that's the problem that the Icons had with the first few waves. They were smaller than the latter waves of the Icons figures. It doesn't look terrible, but it does look a little bit off, if you ask me. I do want to point out as well that as far as Deathstroke's bow staff, it comes apart in 3 places, and that's to make it easier for putting it in Deathstroke's hands and not having to bend his fingers all over the place. Overall, I am greatly impressed with this Deathstroke figure, and it's figures like this that make me sad that the line is coming to a close. In my opinion, this is hands down the definitive version of Deathstroke. If I had to have one Deathstroke action figure on a desert island, don't ask me why I'd have action figures on a desert island, but if I had to have one Deathstroke figure on a desert island, this would be the definitive version that I would take with me. And that means it's even better than the DC Universe Classics one, which was really, really good too. And with that, I think we've come to the end of the video, so thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you liked it, please leave a like down below so I know you liked it. Leave any comments you have down in the comment section below. And if you think you might like to see more of this kind of content show up in your inbox, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell, and you'll never miss a video. And I will see you next time. Toodaloo, folks!